There is a place off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, where the Atlantic Ocean guarded one of history's greatest secrets for nearly 3 centuries. Not a legend, not a sailor's tale, but the wreck of a real pirate ship, loaded with gold, silver, weapons, and the remains of more than 100 men. Its name was the Whydah Gally. For just a few extraordinary weeks in 1717, it was the richest pirate ship sailing the Atlantic. Then, almost overnight, it vanished. A violent storm smashed the ship into the sandbars off Cape Cod. Within minutes, everything disappeared beneath the waves. The treasure, the crew, even one of history's greatest pirate captains. For 268 years, the ocean refused to give up its secret, until one discovery changed everything historians thought they knew about the golden age of piracy. But to understand why the Whydah became so famous, you first have to understand the man who captured her. His name was Samuel Bellamy. History remembers him as Black Sam Bellamy. Unlike most pirates, Bellamy wasn't born into wealth or power. He was born in England around 1689 and spent much of his early life working as a sailor. By all accounts, he was intelligent, well-spoken, and unusually charismatic. Long before he became a pirate, Bellamy dreamed of building a better life. According to popular historical tradition, he fell deeply in love with a young woman from Cape Cod named Maria Hallett. Her wealthy family refused to approve the relationship. Bellamy had no fortune, no land, no status. So he left New England, hoping to earn enough money to return as a successful man. Fate had other plans. In 1715, news spread across the Atlantic that a massive Spanish treasure fleet had been destroyed by a hurricane off the coast of Florida. Millions of pesos and gold and silver had disappeared beneath the sea. Treasure hunters rushed south, hoping to become rich overnight. Bellamy joined them, but like most fortune seekers, he found almost nothing. The Spanish recovered most of their treasure before anyone else could. Bellamy returned poorer than before. It was then that he made a decision that would change history. If fortune couldn't be found, perhaps it could be taken. At that exact moment, the Atlantic world was changing. The War of the Spanish Succession had just ended. For years, European nations had fought enormous naval battles across the Atlantic. Thousands of sailors suddenly found themselves unemployed. These men already knew how to sail, fight, operate cannons, and hunt merchant ships. The only difference now was that governments no longer paid them. Many accepted ordinary jobs, others refused. Instead, they continued attacking merchant vessels, only now without permission. The golden age of piracy had begun. Within only a few years, names like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, Calico Jack Rackham, and Bartholomew Roberts would become feared throughout the Atlantic. Samuel Bellamy quickly proved he belonged among them. Unlike many pirate captains, Bellamy rarely ruled through terror. He earned loyalty through confidence, skill, and fairness. Pirate crews elected their captains by vote. If a captain became greedy, cowardly, or incompetent, the crew could remove him. Bellamy understood something many naval officers never did. Men fought harder for leaders they respected than leaders they feared. His crew admired him. Within little more than a year, Bellamy captured ship after ship. Merchant captains surrendered without firing a shot once they recognized his flag. By early 1717, the 28-year-old pirate had already captured more than 50 ships.
He had become one of the most successful pirates in the Atlantic. But his greatest prize was still waiting.
Before long, Samuel Bellamy's growing reputation spread throughout the Caribbean. Merchant captains feared encountering his black flag. Pirates respected his leadership. Even rival crews recognized that Bellamy was becoming one of the most successful captains of the Golden Age. Then, in February 1717, opportunity appeared on the horizon. A large three-masted ship was sailing north through the waters between Cuba and the Bahamas. Her name was the Whydah Gally. She wasn't an ordinary merchant ship. She had been built in England only 2 years earlier, specifically for the transatlantic slave trade. Fast, heavily built, and carrying 18 cannons, the Whydah was designed to transport enslaved Africans from the West African port of Whydah, the city that gave the ship its name, to the Caribbean. After delivering hundreds of enslaved people to Jamaica, the ship had been loaded with valuable cargo for the return voyage to England. Sugar, indigo, gold dust, silver coins, ivory, fine textiles, and countless expensive trade goods. She represented an enormous fortune floating across the Atlantic. Bellamy immediately recognized her value. He ordered pursuit. The chase lasted, not hours, but 3 full days. The Whydah was one of the fastest ships on the Atlantic. Her captain, Lawrence Prince, used every advantage he had. But Bellamy commanded several vessels working together. His ships slowly closed every possible escape route. Eventually, Captain Prince realized the truth. If he fought, his crew would likely die. If he surrendered, they might survive. He chose surrender. Bellamy boarded the Whydah without unnecessary bloodshed. Unlike many pirate captains, he rarely killed crews that surrendered peacefully. Captain Prince and his men were allowed to leave aboard a smaller vessel. The Whydah now belonged to Black Sam Bellamy. It instantly became the most powerful ship in his fleet. Bellamy wasted no time. He transformed the former slave ship into a pirate flagship. Additional cannons were installed. The crew expanded. The black pirate flag replaced the merchant colors. Within days, the Whydah became one of the most feared ships in the Atlantic Ocean. Over the next several weeks, Bellamy launched an extraordinary campaign along the American coastline. Merchant ships fell one after another. Every successful raid added more treasure. Spanish silver, gold coins, jewelry, weapons, medical supplies, navigation instruments, luxury goods from Europe, cargo from the Americas. By the spring of 1717, the Whydah carried treasure taken from more than 50 captured ships. Historians believe no pirate vessel had ever carried such enormous wealth at one time. Bellamy had achieved something remarkable. At only 28 years old, he had become one of history's richest pirates. But instead of sailing farther into the Caribbean, he turned north, toward New England, toward Cape Cod, toward the woman he had left behind years earlier. If the old stories are true, Samuel Bellamy finally had enough wealth to return home and ask Maria Hallett to marry him. He never got the chance. The Whydah sailed north, its holds overflowing with treasure unlike anything the Atlantic had ever seen. Gold coins from Spanish colonies, silver pieces of 8, jewelry, ivory, fine cloth, weapons, navigation instruments, and the riches taken from more than 50 captured ships. Every successful raid had made Bellamy wealthier. But now, his destination wasn't another merchant vessel, it was home. Many historians believe Bellamy intended to return to Cape Cod, where Maria Hallett still lived. For the first time in years,
The pirate captain who had terrified the Atlantic may have been preparing to leave piracy behind forever. But nature had already made another decision. Late in April 1717, the weather changed without warning. A powerful nor'easter swept down the New England coast. These storms remain among the most dangerous weather systems in the North Atlantic even today. Violent winds, towering waves, blinding rain, and almost no visibility. For wooden sailing ships, they were often a death sentence. As darkness covered the coastline, the Whydah's massive sails fought the wind, while enormous waves slammed against her hull. The crew desperately tried to maintain control, but the storm only became stronger. Without modern weather forecasts, there was little they could do. The coastline of Cape Cod was especially deadly. Hidden sandbars stretched for miles beneath the surface. Many experienced captains had already lost ships there. Locals would later call the region the Ocean Graveyard. Shortly after midnight, disaster struck. The Whydah smashed into a massive sandbar near Wellfleet, Massachusetts. The impact was catastrophic. The ship stopped almost instantly. Towering waves lifted the vessel, then slammed her down again. The mast snapped. Cannons broke loose inside the hull, crashing through wooden walls like battering rams. Water poured into the ship from every direction. In only a few minutes, one of the richest pirate ships in history was breaking apart. The Atlantic Ocean swallowed everything.
Of the approximately 146 men aboard the Whydah that night, only 2 survived. One was Thomas Davis, a Welsh carpenter who had been reportedly forced into pirate service. The other was John Julian, a Native American pilot who had chosen to sail with Bellamy. The remaining crew, including Black Sam Bellamy himself, disappeared beneath the freezing Atlantic. Bellamy was only 28 years old. In less than 2 years, he had become one of the most successful pirates of the Golden Age. And now, his extraordinary career ended within sight at the coast he had hoped to reach. His body was never positively identified. The Atlantic simply kept him, along with nearly everything aboard his ship. More than 4.5 tons of treasure, hundreds of weapons, personal belongings, and countless gold and silver coins sank beneath shifting sand. For the people living on Cape Cod, the storm left behind a horrifying scene. Broken timbers washed onto the beaches, barrels, cannons, pieces of cargo, and the bodies of pirates floated ashore.
For nearly 268 years, the Atlantic Ocean refused to give up its secret. Generations searched for the Whydah. Treasure hunters, historians, and local fishermen all believed they knew where the ship had gone down. But Cape Cod's shifting sands buried the wreck deeper every year. Many assumed the treasure had been lost forever. Then, in the early 1980s, a diver named Barry Clifford decided to prove everyone wrong. Unlike earlier treasure hunters, Clifford spent years studying old maps, court records, weather reports, and eyewitness accounts from 1717. He believed the Whydah wasn't gone, it was simply hidden beneath centuries of sand. In 1984, his search finally paid off. Using underwater survey equipment, his team discovered a powerful magnetic signal beneath the ocean floor. The excavation began. Then, in 1985, history changed forever. Divers recovered a bronze ship's bell. After months of careful conservation, an inscription slowly appeared. It read, "The Whydah Gally, 1716." There was no longer any doubt. The legendary pirate ship had been found. It remains the only fully authenticated pirate shipwreck ever discovered anywhere in the world. Over the following decades, more than 200,000 artifacts were recovered. Thousands of Spanish silver coins, gold dust, jewelry, cannons, pistols, medical instruments, navigation tools, even the personal belongings of Bellamy's crew. Archaeologists also recovered human remains, allowing historians to study the real people who sailed under the black flag. The Whydah changed everything we thought we knew about piracy. It proved that the legends, the treasure, the crew, and Black Sam Bellamy himself were not myths, they were real. Today, the Whydah stands as one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in maritime history. Not simply because of the treasure, but because it preserved a frozen moment from the golden age of piracy. A young captain searching for fortune, a stolen slave ship transformed into a pirate flagship, a violent Atlantic storm, and a mystery that waited nearly 3 centuries to be solved. Sometimes history isn't hidden in old books. Sometimes it's waiting beneath the waves. The Whydah Gally wasn't just the richest pirate ship ever lost. It became the greatest pirate story ever found.